Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Girls Like Nerds. I'm sure you can tell we are in a totally different location right now. We're actually in my studio, my home studio. I thought it'd be kind of fun to, one, switch it up a little bit, and in the future, I want to do so many more episodes of the podcast, so if I can figure out a setup at home, then I can give you so many more episodes. So we're kind of testing this out. We'll see how we like it. Let me know your thoughts. Obviously, this is a little makeshift, so we're going to figure out something more fun in the backdrop. But I am joined by my lovely, wonderful, fantastic, amazing, talented friend, Drew Dailey. And Drew Dailey. You've seen him before. You've seen him a ton of times. Drew and I have known each other for years. And he is nerdier than I am, if you can believe that.
Yeah, that's saying a lot.
Yeah, that's saying a lot. I go to Drew for all of the answers to all of my nerdy questions. And today, I thought it'd be fun to talk about Transformers. So I actually went to see Transformers yesterday. A lot of times people don't know that the movie's opening day is Thursday, not Friday.
Yeah.
So there was Thursday showings, and we both went to see Transformers yesterday.
Yep.
So I thought we'd talk about it today on the pod.
Yeah, we'll see if there really was more than meets the eye.
Oh, I know. Wow.
Gold. Off to a good start.
Gold. Dad jokes. I'm here for it.
Right.
Okay, so tell me thoughts on the movie in general.
So, I mean, I was looking forward to it because I got so burnt out on the Michael Bay movies.
Did you?
Yeah,
really?
Okay, well, quick backflash, but the first Transformers movie that came out in 2007, I went and saw it on the Paramount lot because I had a buddy who worked for Paramount.
Oh, that's really cool.
And so it's like this huge, nice theater. And I walked out of there and I texted my friend and I was like, I think I just saw the perfect movie. And I was so excited. And it was like, they had all these flashbacks to like the old Transformers, which I grew up with. And then kind of as they went on, they were like veering away from Transformers lore. And then Michael Bay is not a great director. I don't know if that's a hot take or not. And then the last movie that he did where like Unicron was coming out of Earth, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? He was like, no. I was so mad. But luckily that was his last movie. And then they had Bumblebee with Haley Steinfeld.
Damn,
I was like,
dude,
this is a really good movie. This is what the other Transformers...
I was crying. I was like, damn, this is a good movie. Yeah.
It's like, this is what the other Transformers movie should have been. Mm-hmm. So this one, I didn't have high hopes. And I honestly never got into like the Beast Wars Transformers era.
Yeah.
It was like after my time.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that there was Beast Transformers at all.
Yeah, that's what a lot of this was based off of, was kind of like the Beast Wars. So they're going to get a little younger audience coming in,
which is what they want, right?
Right. But I actually enjoyed the movie. It was very entertaining. I liked some of the callbacks they did. Special effects were good. I don't think the special effects were quite as good as like the Michael Bay movies. It was a little generic.
Really?
I guess
okay.
you could say.
Did you think
that's what I thought anyways. It's good. All CGI is good right now, but I just thought it wasn't quite as detailed as the other movies were in the past. Yeah.
Okay. Thoughts. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. When I saw a trailer for I was like, another Transformers movie, like enough, no more Transformers movies. And I'm like, bro, like you were saying, that very first Transformers movie with Megan Fox and Shia LaBeouf, are you kidding me? The movie was fucking great.
Right.
Like, why even make more after that? Like, it's like, it was such a good movie. Yeah, so I feel like I have this nostalgia for like the OG Transformers movies, and they just kind of kept going. There's some movies in the middle that I was like, never even watched them. I didn't like fuck Transformers. Like, how is this a movie? I think like Marky Mark was in one of them or something. Was it like Mark Wahlberg? I was just say Marky Mark.
Fourth and fifth one. I mean, he is Marky Mark. He will always be Marky Mark, right?
I've never called him that before. Yeah. Anyway. Sorry, I'm a little hungover. Okay. Where was I? Oh, thoughts. Okay, so yeah, I actually really liked it. I loved... I forget one of the characters, because you never really see like the female robots a lot. So there were two of them. There was one bad one on bad side, and there was one girl that looked really cool. She kind of looked like
I think her name's RC.
RC, okay.
Yeah.
She kind of reminded me of do you remember Ready Player One?
Yes.
She kind of reminded me of, what was her character's name in that movie?
Which one? There's a couple of
the girl on the motorcycle.
Oh yeah. Definitely gives off that vibe. Where like,
yeah, it was like kind of cool. It was like,
yeah.
okay, I actually really like where they're going with this.
Yeah.
And I wanted to. I'm glad that they kind of really mixed that up a little bit. And the Beast looks so cool. Like the gorillas
especially when they
so
transformed
cool.
at the end battle.
I didn't even know they could do that.
Yeah.
I was like, what? That's a thing? Why did you do that the whole time?
Right.
Like, what, just doing this right now.
Just walking around as a rhinoceros the whole time.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, had like almost no speaking lines at all.
Oh, I didn't
like,
even realize that. You're right.
Rhinoceros
Yeah.
didn't get any speaking lines.
Yeah.
And then he's just out there,
Lame.
kicking ass at the end and stuff. And it's like,
I'm like, wait, so you've been running around on all fours, and when you could have been on two legs like this entire time. It was shocking to me. I really liked the cast too. That Latin guy, I don't remember his name, sorry. But he's been in a bunch of stuff, and I've seen him in a lot of stuff over the years, and he's really, really great. And I even like the kid that played his little brother. Like he was like a little badass little boy with like the kind of like New York little accent. He was like fly, man.
He's giving him a little motivational speech.
Yeah, I was like ready to cry, man. I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
Honestly, yeah, I was a little surprised like how touching the movie was.
Yeah.
When he's helping his brother and he's like, hey, we're in this together and stuff.
Yeah, he's like, are you fighting this alone or are you fighting this together? I was like,
yeah.
I love seeing like family love, right? And loyalty in films and TV like that. So inspiring. I feel like we need to see more shit like that.
Yep.
And I also kind of thought it was comedy that like 1 second, okay, they're broke as fuck and can't afford the medical bills, and then he's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go with the aliens and we're gonna go away for I don't know how long. He was like telling his little brother, he's like, okay, well, I don't know when I'll come back.
He's like,
I think I made a face. I was like, so fuck you are? And I don't think so, bro. You're just gonna leave? You don't talk to your mom about this? Like, he didn't say bye to his mom. I was like, you could be dead. You could not come back at all. You're just going dip.
Like what if his mom's just like, you can't go.
Yeah.
You're grounded.
No, seriously, no, you're grounded. Sorry, robots. He can't go with you. I was like, what the fuck? I love the girl. There's like this cool black girl in it. I might say something that might not be very popular, but I feel like I got so like spoiled in the Michael Bay movies that like all the girls are so hot, right? So I was like, oh, Transformers, there's some attractive people, and it was just like a normal looking person, right?
Regular people.
Yeah, just like a normal, like not ugly, just like a normal looking girl.
Right.
And I was like, okay, this is the main girl, okay, and she was fucking great. Like, she was funny and she's kind of nerdy because she loves, like, paleontology or something, right?
Yeah, and she was, like, super smart. And I loved how she would sing to calm herself down.
Yeah, so when she would get in some of the scarier scenes, she would, like, sing to herself. And she sang, like, Waterfalls by TLC in one scene. I was like, this is great. Oh, so it's actually kind of set in, like, the 80s, though, right?
1994.
94, yeah. Okay, because I was looking at some of the outfits, and I was like, with the shoulder pads and, like, the bright pattern colors.
And they leaned heavy into the, like, 90s hip-hop, which I wasn't mad at.
Dude, the fucking soundtrack was fire.
Yeah, it was good. The song come on, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
Sick. Okay, obviously there's some spoilers in this pod, but anyway, so Bumblebee dies. Kind of early on-ish, like the first quarter of the movie.
It didn't mean anything to me because in the trailers, they showed him
coming out of the plane.
The final battle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well,
we
haven't seen that part.
So is coming back.
So
like, okay.
So either don't try to kill him and get us to be sad about it, or just don't show that part in the trailer.
I agree, yeah.
Because when he dies, I was like, we all know he's not dead.
That's the thing. Sometimes trailers like show you too much of the movie. Yeah. So sometimes I don't even like to watch the trailers at all, and I just go straight into watching the fucking movie because I'm like, now I know everything that happens because you showed it to me already. But when Bumblebee was coming out of the plane, it was like, don't call it a comeback. I was like, what? This is such a I was like, I've heard this song in so long.
Because we know from all the other movies that Bumblebee is actually like a badass warrior.
Oh yeah.
So there was actually the part that I was bummed about is when he has to kill Optimus Primal has to kill Air. Oh my god, blanking on the other half.
I know it was Air or something. It was Michelle. What's her name? That she just won the Oscar for Everything Everywhere All at Once. She did the voice for the eagle.
Why am I blanking on the other half of her name? Somebody knows. Just say it in the comments.
It was like Air. If you know, please tell us in the comments. Yeah. I could look it up.
But that was the part I was really bummed about, because like already a bunch of them have died over the years.
Yeah, I was like, why does she gotta die? What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah,
it was so sad. Like, okay, so what was the bad guy's name?
Scourge.
Yeah. So when he like throws her eagle character when she is flying away, he like throws something in the air that latches onto her wing, and she doesn't fully realize it, but it's like poisoning her slowly. Yeah. So she ends up getting actually possessed. It looks like a possession. And her wings get all fucked up and like bloody and gory looking. And then he fucking Primal has to kill her because she couldn't control it anymore, and it was like so sad. And she was like, "It's okay, like don't just please do it, no matter the cost. That's our oath." And I was like, "That's fucking sad. Like, why everybody gonna die? Damn."
That part was really sad. Like,
I was not okay with that.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I low-key loved that too. Speaking of the girl that was the like art historian girl. I love that she was like, "Oh yeah, cool. I'll go with you guys to Peru or something." Like, what the really?
Well, like
you don't know these what?
She gave her little backstory on the plane.
Then that made sense. She talks about her dad, and her dad was like, he was a cab driver for 40 years, and he was like knew a lot about everything, you know. And he was, and that was something that she thought he would have been really proud of her for doing. So she was like, "Yeah, this is an opportunity that I and he'd be proud that I chose to say yes to this." Granted, real life, a New York bitch is not going to be like, aliens, let's go.
Peace.
Like,
have fun.
Fuck? Yeah.
Take my
notebook.
Have
fun. Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But I loved, and those little like spider creatures that come off of Scourge. They're like part of his body, and he like has these like little ground warrior things that are like crawling around.
When Mirage is like, "I hate spiders."
Oh, wasn't Mirage so cool?
Yeah,
he was like the funny, like really comedic relief kind of robot. Of them
like
all.
right away, you know he's going to be the comic relief when. You know, they're doing the getaway stuff, and he drops him off. He gets up. He's like, "Oh, man, it feels so good." He's like, "Give me Knuckles." Whatever. He's like, "Okay."
Yeah, he's like, everyone's like, "Mirage, stay hidden. Mirage, stay hidden." And I was like, "This is what great. Like, thanks, buddy." And then he, like, picks up the main character guy. He, like, picks up a weapon thinking he's, like, going to have to defend himself. And he's like, "I thought we were bros. Like, after that drive, I thought we were friends. Like, what the fuck?" Yes, I really liked his character. That car was sick as fuck too. That Porsche, that like great Porsche.
Yeah, and then he like transforms in all the different cars. I thought it was a sweet deal too. He's like, "Hey, bro, do this for us. You can sell me. I'll just drive away afterwards." Scourge
is like, "Hey, if you help us get this key back, you can sell me. I'll let you sell me, make a bunch of money." And then he's like, "And then when we're done, I'll just go back home." I was like, "That's fucked up."
Let's just do that over and over again.
Yeah, let's just keep doing that. Like, how many cars can you turn into? Let's go. Right? And I kind of thought it was sad that like they did not make it home, which kind of made me sad, right? Because I'm like, fuck.
Well, so what did you think about that part at the end when Mirage kind of gives his parts to the main character so he can have like
it was giving Iron Man, and I was like, I'm so fucking here for this because he literally had to. I'm not fully sure why he had to do it, honestly, but he Mirage gets attacked so much by Scourge, he can't like defend himself anymore, so he attaches himself to the main guy's character. He attaches him to him, so he literally looks like Iron Man, like a version of Iron Man. So now, and then all of a sudden, the guy like has never done this before, and like he's like fucking bobbing and moving and like fighting in this bodysuit. That I'm like, how do you even know what you're doing? Like what?
I had a couple thoughts on this, and at first I was like, oh, this is kind of cheesy, okay, but I think where they like kind of messed up was that they talked about him being in the military and how he was a great soldier, right. All this other stuff, but he was very good in like electronics and technical stuff. But they never really showed him actually using those skills.
Oh, okay.
You know, because like throughout the movie, he's kind of running and like scared, and he just wants to protect the world. He wants to destroy the thing. They never show him using those skills until at the end when he puts that thing on and he's able to use it like a pro. And it's like, okay, if they had established that beforehand, that he was good at combat, then that would have made that easier to swallow on that part. But
easier to swallow, huh? Okay.
That's what she said.
Had to. The door was open.
So I actually, because I'm an old school Transformers nerd, and I grew up with the 1980s animated movie. So obviously I went home and watched that right after. And I had forgotten I didn't make the connection, I should say, that in the animated movie, they give the humans that they are like friends with these exosuits so they can help them move stuff and makes them stronger. And I was like, oh, so they're just making like a new age exosuit for him to use.
Oh, that's really cool.
So he can kind of help him fight and stuff. And I was like, oh, that actually, I like that better now that I think about it.
Yeah.
It was more just all of a sudden he was a total pro and he's dodging and weaving and shooting.
Yeah, I was like, this has never happened. Like, that didn't make any sense. Yeah. But I liked that scene in general when like they merge and he's fighting Scourge. He's actually doing a really good job. It was almost like, it kind of reminded me of like Ant-Man a little bit, right? Because like Scourge is so big and he's used to fighting other big robots. So it's like you have this tiny little guy and it's like harder for Scourge to like grab him and like actually fight back. And then when Optimus came, he was like, "You're gonna fight me alone." And then Optimus comes and like, "Fuck yeah, exactly."
He's like, "I'm gonna rip out your freaking heart, man."
Yeah, what did he say? "I'm gonna rip out your spark."
The spark, yeah.
I'm gonna rip your spark out.
Right.
And then they fight Scourge together. And it was so cool. Like, it was such a good scene. Yeah. And it's so funny. Like, sometimes when I think I even checked myself at one point. I was like, "Damn, I'm such a fucking nerd." Like, when she, the main girl character, was like running under the tunnels at the end of the movie. Because there's a code that she deciphered. So if you enter this code into this machine, then it'll stop. What's the big guy's name?
Key.
Yeah,
Unicron.
It'll stop Unicron from coming to Earth, right? And devouring the planet. So she's like running under the tunnels, and she finally makes it to the end. And as she's there's like a ledge, so she almost like flew right over the ledge. I was like, Mordor? Like, are we in Mordor right now? Like, what the fuck? I was like, be careful!
You're like, throw the ring in.
Yes, seriously, throw the ring in, please. The ring must be destroyed. And I'm sitting there by myself watching this movie. I'm like, girl, you are such a nerd. Like, who the fuck even thinks of this shit? I'm like, anyway, let me watch the movie. I was getting all distracted. But that was a cool scene too. Like, I love that. I love that she was even just able to figure out how to put the code in. Like, it was very confusing looking.
I loved how smart they made her character.
Love that. She was so smart. Even like in the beginning when she was talking with her boss.
Is an idiot.
Yeah, her boss is a fucking bitch. Like, taking all the credit for all her hard work. Yeah. But she's like talking about what was real and what wasn't real with some of the art that had come in, and she was just like on it, man. I'm like, that's a lot to memorize, girl.
Oh, like, I can't do that stuff. My memory sucks.
Every time I think of like, sometimes I admire actors so much too. Like, when there's wild shit that you have to memorize, I'm like,
oh yeah, and they have to say it like
flawless,
like they're pros.
Yeah.
I'm like, how many takes did that take?
That's what I'm over here thinking, like, how do you know all that? Like, if we were talking Harry Potter, let's go, right? But I'm like, shit that I don't know about, it's got to be so tough. So I really admire like hard like actors that can do stuff like that. She was fire, dude. She was cool.
Yeah, I liked her payoff at the end also.
Oh,
got 60 minutes interview and everything. So like everybody got there.
I thought it was kind of interesting too, because so if it's the 90s, right, and she's a black girl and her boss is a white woman. And obviously her boss didn't want to give her credit for all her hard work and everything that she was doing at work, and she was taking all of her credit actually. And I'm like, it's also probably because she's black, right? So she doesn't want to have this African American girl like coming up in this business. Like, there's like so many things that are keeping her down, but she's so smart and she was so hardworking. Like, that didn't stop her, which I thought was really fucking great. And then at the very end, she really got her own credit because of her discovery in Peru. And she kind of really became her own person, her own woman. I was really cool. I like seeing that.
Yeah. There's a lot of bosses like that where like they just take the credit to make themselves look better, and then you get promoted, and then the other person gets promoted. But it's like, shouldn't be that way.
I really should.
You should be supporting.
I fully agree.
People,
yeah,
you know?
Especially if it's for the team. Like, if everybody's doing well.
Yeah. If you're a boss and you keep getting these good employees, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Right.
Guess what? They're happy to keep working if they're happy. Like.
Right.
Like that's just I don't understand. But Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
And then, because we like touched on the ending there, I actually got surprised with the reveal that G.I. Joe is in this universe. Yeah. Because, obviously because of all the Michael Bay movies and the Sector 7 and all that stuff, I thought we were going to be getting into that. And it's like, oh, he's jumping in there. And then, opens up the door. And you're like, oh, okay, this cool secret organization. And he looks at the card and it's like G.I. Joe. And I literally out loud was like, oh.
And then obviously
I grew up with G.I. Joe also. That was like the same time as Transformers. So it's cool that they're probably going to be making this universe where it's like Transformers and G.I. Joe together. And Snake Eyes, I think.
I fucking love Snake Eyes. It's one of my favorite movies. I saw it 3 times.
Watch it.
Yeah. So good.
They're probably going to merge all that stuff together. And I'm like, I'm here for it.
I never really got into G.I. Joe though, right? So I didn't really know the storylines like that. I saw the ones with Channing Tatum and I was like, these are just really good movies. But I didn't put them together well enough to like remember the storyline or anything like that. But I thought at the end of Transformers, when he's going in for the job interview, and the guy turns around, and I was like, who is this guy? This guy's somebody. Like, I couldn't quite place
before,
him.
yeah.
But I know we've seen him before in a different version of this kind of universe. And then when he's like, oh, well, I heard the food was good in Peru. He's like, what are you talking about? I didn't tell you it was in Peru. And then he's like, and then they take care of all his brother's medical bills. And I was like, I could cry, but also that's it. Like, you're just gonna take care of the medical bills? Like, I fucking saved the planet, bro. Like, give me more.
He's getting a job where he can help save the planet again.
Yeah, that sounds like more work. Like, give me some perks, damn. Like, give us a family vacation. Yeah. I don't know. Like, the fuck.
I'll come join you. Just give me.
Buy us a house. Like, are you kidding me right now? We're still living in this a shitty apartment 3. Like, the fuck. Like,
well, I'm sure he'll make a bunch of money working for G.I. Joe.
Oh no, I was like, you need to ask some more stuff, bro. This is some bullshit. I was like, well, cool, thanks for that, but also we'd love a house. And I'd love for my mom to not have to work anymore. Like, can we work out some shit before I say yes? Saying, give me more perks. I thought it was kind of funny too at the end when his little brother is talking on the walkie on Mirage's chest, and he was like, "You're so and so." Guys, I could look up the name. I'm not going to, but you know who I'm talking about, the main character. He's like, "You're so and so from like, was it Brooklyn, New York?"
Oh yeah, from the address.
Yeah, like no apartment 3, and I was like. Okay, I started laughing. I was like, bro, relax. It's not like it's this fucking flex.
Right.
Like, okay.
Well, it's so funny how it seems to be like a New York attitude, I guess, where they're all like representing their town.
Oh, like where they're like street names. Like,
Brooklyn.
And I noticed that too. I have some friends from New York. They're like, oh, 61st, blah, 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 and this is the street, and the next is the pizza place. I'm like, just Joe's Pizza's everywhere. Like, isn't that on every corner? Like, it's the same guy.
50 of them.
Yeah, like, but like, you don't hear that in LA. Right, I'm not like, oh yeah, like Magnolia.
Unless you're like rapper, maybe Long
Hollywood
Beach
and Vine. Like, okay, like no one fucking says that in Los Angeles, Long Beach and the house.
Yeah.
I guess, but even Long Beach, you're not like, well, this is the street corners. Like, it's not. It's
Sepulveda, son.
Exactly. Like Burbank, bitch. Like that's not a thing that people say.
A lot of alliteration going on. I love it.
I know. Oh, look at us. Yeah. Oh, skills. Anyway, I thought that was funny when he was like on the walkie talking about. I started giggling. I was like, I know this is not time for me to be laughing, but he gave the whole address.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I thought it was kind of cool how they were like calling each other Sonic and Tails.
Oh, so cute.
Cool.
Yeah, so cute. The little the names on the airwaves.
I like in the beginning when his brother's like, no real names on the airwaves, and I was like, yes, smart.
Yeah, smart. Something your real fucking name.
Your brother's ahead of the curve.
Yeah, your brother's just figured it out. Okay. And then at the very end, the guy's like, oh, and your brother's right. No names on the airwaves. And I was like, that's how they found out who he was. I was like, okay, how the fuck did they find out this guy?
I mean, they probably like.
Also, aren't there cameras everywhere? Like, I'm over here
like.
Not
in 1994.
There were cameras. We just didn't know about them. Yeah.
Not as prevalent as they are now.
Now we see them everywhere, but there were still cameras. And I'm over here. Oh, and then when Unicron, right? Am I saying that right? Unicron was coming, like you could see this big, dark, gray, ugly cloud coming over Earth, and I'm literally sitting there like, is there no government? Like, where's the army? Like, we don't want to go. Is anybody else seeing this? Like, you guys are gonna do anything? What the fuck?
Everybody's just like,
like, when something enters the atmosphere, there are alarms for this. So you knew something was here for like a couple hours now. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because it's like, is everybody on Earth just seeing a big black cloud, or are they looking up and seeing some kind of machine coming through space? I'm like, we're about to die.
No, all the governments have radar shit. Like, the second something enters the atmosphere, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm over here like, they've been fighting that for no help. Like, this plane's coming and helping you. Like, what the fuck?
How fast can we get to Peru? And then they're like, oh wait, no, the fight's over.
Yeah, seriously, yeah.
Come back.
On the way to Peru, they're like, okay, well, the clouds are gone, so I guess we don't have to worry about it anymore.
Right? Let's go to Florida.
Like what? Overall, I really liked it though. I thought it was a really good movie.
You and I are the same. We just want to be entertained.
Me too. I'm easy to please, man. Yeah. Like, with movies, I don't expect Oscar-worthy anything. You know, I just want like a nice story. Yep. I want to laugh. I want to maybe cry a little. Big. Yeah.
I give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. Yeah. It's one of those movies that like I would just have on in the background and be fine. Yeah. You know, just having it on while I do other shit.
Yeah. Agreed.
It's good. Yeah. Not anywhere near my favorite Transformers movie, and I would have liked more attractive people personally, just because I like pretty things. I like looking at pretty things. You know, but whatever. I'm not creating it, so say la vie. But I liked it. I like it. It was a good movie.
Yeah, me too. I was happy.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where they go as far as like the G.I. Joe kind of.
Oh yeah, I'm totally down for like some good G.I. Joe movies. You mentioned it earlier that you liked the Channing Tatum ones. I thought they were absolute garbage.
Well, I just remember, I don't remember anything about them. I just remember liking it in general because she's cute. So it's like, yeah, this is fine. And there's fight scenes, cool. Also, Sienna Miller's in it. I was like, yeah,
I'm also
cool.
comparing it to like the G.I. Joe that I grew up with. So I'm looking at it
different.
like, come on.
Because I'm not a fan though, right?
Yeah,
So that's
exactly.
the difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it a lot. Yeah. And then so I know I did not, I was out of town, so I did not go see this Into the Spiderverse movie. But I'm going to say something controversial. I'm sorry. But I didn't really like the first one.
This blows my mind.
I just didn't really like it. And I think I only watched it once. I watched it in theaters, and I should really probably give it another chance.
Yeah.
But I didn't fucking like it. And then I heard that goddamn song all the time after. And I was like, no,
I
already
song.
didn't like the movie. Now I'm like, what the fuck's the
It
fucking
did get
song?
overplayed though, that song.
And, you know, so I was like, I'm not really jazzed about going to see the second one. And then by the time I came back into town, it was like 4 or 5 days after it came out anyway. So I was like, whatever. Like, I can wait till it comes out later. Like, I need to watch it. But I know you're a fan.
Yeah.
He plays the video game all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Won't play Fortnite with me, but he will play Spiderman all the time. And I was curious your thoughts on
So, if anybody's watching and hasn't seen it, heavy spoilers coming up. But yeah, I loved it. I loved the original, or the first one, I should say. A lot of people say it's the best Spider-Man movie, but I just think it's up there. I think it's like
a lot of people
the
said that
best
about the
2 or 3.
animated one. It was like, this is the best Spider-Man movie, and I just did not agree with that.
Super well written, super well animated, well acted. Like the voice talent's great. The second one, it's different directors. Like like Tim Lord and his brother, whatever, did the first one. They're the guys who did like Lego Movie, Community, I think, and all that stuff.
Okay.
But the second one's a different team of directors, so I was very skeptical. I was like, crap, they're gonna it's gonna be cheesy and all stuff. Not the case. They changed up the animation style technically because every Spider person in their own universe, it's animated differently. So
was that this in the new one, or was that
the
first
new one?
Okay.
So Spider-Gwen, or Spider-Gwen, her universe is like watercolors, and the colors of the scene are like reflecting her emotions, basically.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah. So it'll go from like a stressful thing to like a loving thing, and everything changes, and like her hair color changes. When she's in Miles' universe, she's like white girl, blonde hair, kind of punk rock looking. Or whatever.
Interesting. Okay.
But when she's in hers, like her hair is like blue or purple or whatever. It's very cool.
It's like a mood ring. Okay.
And then there's like, I can't remember the name of his world, but there's like an Indian Spider-Man where they go to his dimension, right? And it's
like American Indian or like
no, like
India.
Okay. Like India, and the animation is done in that style, and everything's decorated like that, and it's super. It's just like every single universe is animated differently.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm clever. I like that. That sounds like fucking tedious. That sounds like
oh yeah,
work.
no wonder it took him like 5 years.
Another one's like, whose idea was this? Okay.
And the voice acting, phenomenal. Some of the voices you're like, oh my god, who is that? And then you look them up, you're like, okay, yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay.
A couple of the voices you just totally recognize.
Love that. Vin Diesel's not in this, is he?
No. Deadpool.
You know how I feel about that, anyway.
You know Deadpool, the cab driver that's always around, like that Ryan Reynolds like.
Yeah, he's great. I love him.
He does the voice of the Indian Spider-Man.
Oh, cool.
You hear that instantly, you're like.
Oh, and he's funny.
He's
and
fucking hilarious.
He got like jacked too, didn't he?
No, you're thinking of the Eternals guy.
Oh, damn. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. My bad. Okay.
No, but so voice acting is great, humor's great, animation is great. Obviously Miles is like older, so he's like tall and skinny and all that stuff.
He was short and skinny before, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean it's technically, I think it only takes place a year-ish after the first one.
Okay. So he's like a teenager now, or was he already a teenager?
I mean, he's still a teenager. He's still in high school, but he's like getting closer to the, like graduating. They're talking about his future.
Oh, cool.
And all that stuff. And then the main bad guy that you don't realize is the main bad guy at first, it actually touches back to the first movie, so they connect it that way.
I mean, they had to do that somehow, right?
Yeah. And then I'm trying not to spoil too much for you, because I know it's going to be wild, but
I probably won't watch it.
But yeah, they have basically every Spider-Man in existence featured, not featured, but like makes a cameo in this movie.
Is there the pig Spider-Man again?
So
that was in the first
you'll
one?
see him again, not much, but
like
you see him at the
Charlotte's
end.
Web is Spider-Man or something.
Yeah.
That just dated me, I know. Okay.
And so yeah, when he goes to like the Spiderverse, all the different Spider-Man around and stuff. It's funny. I was
is there
watching
a
the video.
Spider-Man?
There's basically everything.
Like,
there is a car that is Spider-Man.
Oh my god, it's like a Transformers Spider-Man.
There's a Tyrannosaurus Rex that's like a dinosaur.
It's literally the Transformers Spider-Man. What the fuck?
It's so good, and then like there's these quick scenes where you're just catching these flashes of all these different Spider-Man.
Oh, I love that. That's
but
cool.
every single one of them is animated in their own style.
Oof.
So like,
Jesus.
There's one that's animated like the video game, right? Like he's the video game Spider-Man, right?
Oh, cool. Okay.
Then there's a super old school Spider-Man, the one like the pointing meme,
Oh, wow.
There's that.
Gosh.
There's the Spider-Man from the Amazing Spider-Man cartoon from like the mid 2000s. There's the Spider-Man from like the 90s that I grew up with, right? There's just every single one.
Wow.
It's featured in all these comics.
That's really cool.
And it's just, it's so good, so detailed. Like you can probably watch the movie 4 or 5 times
and just find something new every time, right? Yeah.
Storyline, great. As it goes on, there's a couple of like slow-ish parts, but I didn't mind because it's just they're doing character development.
Okay.
Showing growth,
you have to do,
struggle, all that stuff. And towards the end, I was like, God, this movie's going a little bit long. Like, how are they going to wrap it up this quickly and stuff? And then the ending leaves you on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I heard it was like a bad cliffhanger. Like it was just like, oh, the movie's over now?
You're not expecting it at all. Yeah. Like, nobody knew there's going to be a third movie. So it's like a trilogy.
Okay. Did you feel like the cliffhanger was, oh, we didn't have time to finish it, so fuck it, we'll just finish the movie? Okay.
I think they went into it with a plan. But it's not really a cliffhanger if you're expecting it. And so you are introduced to this new problem. And you're like, dude, they're starting like a new thing now? We're at the end of the movie. And it just ends. And they're like, catch the third chapter. Luckily, it comes out next year in March.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was like, oh my God, I have to wait 3 or 4 years for this
so
next
they probably
movie?
did it already. They probably just already did everything already.
So they went into it. They probably had this storyline. They're like, this is too long for one movie and all this stuff. But
cliffhanger. Why is it called cliffhanger? I should look into that.
Because you're running and then all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, there's lava down there.
Oh yeah.
So you have to stop.
Cliffhanger. That makes sense. There's lava down there. Mordor.
But yeah, so was not expecting it. But there's also like a cool kind of reveal with who's going to be in the third one and stuff. And you're like, all right, I'm here for it.
And there was a scene at the end, I'm assuming, right?
No.
Oh, there was. Is this Marvel? It's Marvel though, right? Is that not Marvel?
It's connected to, which, by the way, quick side note, they actually mention the Marvel Universe with like Doctor Strange and Tom Holland's Spider-Man in Earth 199999 or whatever it is.
Oh, because that's the name of our planet.
That's
right?
the name of our dimension, universe, or whatever. So it is connected to our Marvel Universe, like in the movies and stuff. Like you see a small little clip of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man universe and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man universe.
That was my favorite. That's Spider-Man. Like I don't care what anybody else says. That's Spider-Man.
Sure. But yeah, so they are incorporating this into the Marvel Universe, which is really cool. And then, so at the end you see like, oh cool, like some of the old gang is here and some new people.
That, yeah.
And then it's just like, boom, it cuts off. And I was like, oh shit. So anytime these movies happen now, because Marvel has ruined us, I look up on my phone, I'm like, are there some end credit scenes? Yeah. And in this one, it was like, there's no end credit scenes.
Interesting, okay. Yeah. And you stayed the whole time, just to be sure?
No, honestly, because I looked up like 2 different articles and they were like, there's no...
Okay, yeah. And we would have heard it by now, I think, if there was something at the end of it. Yeah.
And it's funny because when I saw it, the theater was almost totally full. And a lot of people were staying. I leaned over the person next to me. I was like, "There's no end credit scenes if that's what you're waiting for."
Drew's such a nerd.
And she's
there's
like,
no end credit scenes.
And she's like, "Oh, there's not, oh, man." So like her and her boyfriend got up and left too.
Okay.
Because it's like, dude, if you don't want to wait through like 10 minutes of credits and then be like, "Wait, there's no."
Yeah, what the fuck? Yeah.
Because we're so used to that now. But I kind of like that they didn't, because it's a cliffhanger. Like, you know.
What else? That wouldn't be a cliffhanger then if you have another, just one more thing at the end. Yeah.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it. The humor's great. Everything's great.
Okay. You're selling me on this. I want to see it more. I still don't want to see it. But I want to see it more than I didn't want to before.
Rewatch the first one?
I think that's what I need to do. I need to rewatch the first one. Is it on like Disney Plus or something? What is that on? I guess I'm not renting
I don't think it's on any streaming services at the moment. So you could just rent it or...
that sounds like something I'm not going to do.
I
had to pay for it?
I have the movie, but it's not illegal. But watch the first one again. And then... The second one's so good in theaters just because I love seeing movies in theaters.
Just anywhere, in general, yeah.
But, you know, you can go, like, in a few weeks if you have nothing to do or whatever. Like,
okay. I never have anything to do. I saw 2 movies this week already.
I mean, that sounds
Friday.
great.
It's Thursday. What's today?
Friday. Yeah, today's Friday.
It's Friday. Thursday. Oh, God. Okay.
Yep. I've been to movies once a week the past 3 weeks, and I'm going to go...
Oh, and we're going next week to see...
The Flash.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, we got a review coming on Flash.
Yeah, I think what I'm noticing is... I know it's called Girls Like Nerds, and I talked a little bit about this with Lauren Chase, I think, on one of the last episodes. But I'm going to have a lot of repeat people, and I feel like Drew's going to be one of those really repeat people. Repeat persons?
Guess.
Anyway, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, he's going to be on here more than I think I thought he would be. But that's awesome because I know Drew for sure is going to see the movie opening day when I'm going to see it. And obviously, as I want to get as many of these podcast episodes out as possible, we talk about it the next day. So yeah. I think that's going to be happening a lot. So we're seeing The Flash next week, and then we'll talk about it. I think literally that day we're going to do a podcast episode so I can have it out the next day and get to chat about it.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. I'm excited for that movie.
Yeah, I'm excited. Me too. Yeah. It just looks really cool.
Right?
Yeah.
And I've heard there's a lot of people who got to see advanced screenings of it at whatever that's like CinemaCon or whatever it's called. And all of their reviews are like, it's so good. Yeah. So I'm excited.
Finally, DC is going to have a good movie.
Dude, I mean...
they need a break so bad.
Yeah. I've always been like, I like DC and Marvel, right? But the movies were never great for DC. The animated movies were phenomenal.
Yeah.
And now it almost seems like DC is...
I feel like DC is about to actually surpass, have a huge...
And Marvel's like, what do you mean you're tired of Marvel? What? Like,
well, that's the thing. And I feel like Marvel kind of like overloaded me a lot on like all the shows and Disney Plus. I'm like, fuck, I can't watch this show without watching the show. Like, oh, did I miss something? There's this cameo. I'm like, I can't keep doing this. I gave you 10 years of my life already. Okay, enough. Like, I need a fucking break.
I did see a little thing about that where, because at Disney, Bob Iger like came back as CEO, and Bob Chapek, the guy beforehand, apparently was was the one responsible for saying we need more streaming shows and all this other stuff because during the pandemic, that's all you did. You sat at home. But now we don't need that.
But then they're thinking just like for money too. Like, okay, we can just make more money for putting out so much more content. But it's like, if you're just putting out content to put it out, is it worth it?
Yeah.
If it's not necessary, if it's not as good as it should be.
With this stuff, it's got to be quality over quantity.
I fully agree, yeah.
And I looked back, we used to get like 2, maybe 3 movies per year.
Per a year.
And there were no shows and stuff. So when a movie came along, you were like, hell yes.
Thrilled. You were so excited. Yeah. Now I'm like, another one? Like,
so when Bob Iger came back, he immediately was like, slow down. Like, stretch this stuff out. He canceled a couple of shows.
I'm kind of glad.
The reason we haven't seen Eternals 2 or any talk about it is because it massively underperformed. I think they're just going to try to ignore it because none of the stuff since then has mentioned that there's a giant freaking stone person coming out of the earth. Like, nobody's like, hello.
It's like one of the Hulk movies. There's one that like nobody talks about with Eric Bana. And
Oh yeah,
Ray.
well,
like
that
one just didn't happen. Like it's like okay, we're just gonna pretend this Eternals never was a thing.
I didn't even make it through that whole movie. That Eric Bana Hulk
really
movie is so terrible.
He's just so cute. So I was like, I'm not.
I mean, Eric Bana's great.
Yeah.
But so yeah. Flash next week. Yeah,
Flash next week. I'm excited. Yeah, and there's a lot of just like fun stuff coming up, and we're gonna start going to more cosplay conventions also.
Oh yeah, there's a
like
lot
we haven't gone to one in a little while. I'm trying to go to Comic-Con. I just haven't gotten the tickets yet, so I'm trying to figure that out. But if not, then I think there's like Anime LA. This summer's gonna have like a lot more fun conventions, and Drew always comes with me, which you already know because y'all see the videos and the photos all the time.
Yeah.
But then it'd be fun to actually sit and talk about it on the pod also.
Oh yeah,
so,
yeah, we totally could.
Yeah, Totes My Goats. Another one in the fucking books. I'm here for this. So I feel like I'm like waking up now.
All your caffeine's hitting you finally 6 drinks later.
Yeah, I know. I know this is, like I said, this is super makeshift. There's probably like some random cuts and like noises and shit throughout this episode. Sorry. But as I decide, as we do more episodes in my studio, we'll just jazz that up more and more. But we had to talk about it because we just saw the movie yesterday, so I want to make sure I'm just getting as much episodes out as possible. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let me know your thoughts on Transformers. And I guess I'll see you all next week. And when we talk about the Flash, eek. Yep. So thanks again, Drew.
No problem.
Drewski, appreciate you, and love you all. Thank you all so much. I'll see you very soon. Bye.
Gryffindor forever.
Oh no. Oh gosh. We're cutting that out.